All right, so welcome to mystery stamping hour, which never really takes an hour. I am your creative coach, Lisa Fulford. I guess I'm a little flustered because this isn't working correct how I thought it should, but I am going to go ahead and start my card, and maybe people can jump on with me. But like I said, I'm going to upload it to YouTube, so if you are here on YouTube, let me know where you're viewing this from. And sorry for the confusion on everything. It worked perfectly before, but for whatever reason, it's not wanting to work now. But how it works is I give a list of clues. You follow the clues by cutting your pieces to the directions that I give. And then we put the card together while I'm on live. But so here is my card base, and I am using Fresh Freesia for mine. And it is an 11" by 4 1/4 and scored at 5 1/2. And then I cut 1 1/4 off the end. So here's my piece. Here's the piece that I cut off. So this is my card base. And we're going to keep this piece because we're still going to use it. Okay, so there's that. And then we have a piece of basic white, and it is 1" by 4". And then we have another piece of basic white that's 4 by 4. So there's that. And then for, oh, where did my coordinating cardstock go? Must have dropped that piece, so we'll just grab my paper cutter and I'll make another one real quick. So I'm using Highland Heather for this, and my coordinating is going to be 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. So I'll just do that real quick. I usually have everything cut ahead of time, but I don't know where I set that piece. But I have the rest of that cardstock nearby. So there's my 4 1/8 by 4 1/8, and then I need a 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So 5 and let's see, 3/8 is right there. And then I need it to be 4 1/8. There we go. So like that. So those are my two coordinating cardstock pieces. And then my DSP is 4 by 4 and 1 1/4 by 4. Okay, and then I have my little pieces here as my embellishments. So that's how the clues work. So I'm gonna set this off to the side. I've got my ink and a sentiment here. And we'll start putting this together. So I'm going to put the 4 1/8 by the 5 3/8. I'm going to add that to the inside of the card. And it's just going to be a small border. Kind of like that. And then I'm going to add this to the front, and it's just going to also be a small border. I usually use liquid glue, and I have rearranged this portion of my room. And where to put it? So I'm going to take my DSP, excuse me, and it is excuse me. And it's, because it's a square, it's not necessarily directional. So if I need it to be a directional, which I guess I should have, for this one, should have said, then I would usually say portrait, or I say landscape. And so I'm going to add this right here. And then for the inside, I have two pieces, but this one here is what I want to put it down first because I want it to show. So when this one's here, I want it to show here. I'm going to put it down first. So this is that piece that is 1 and 1 1/4 by 4. That's what I thought it was. Now I want to take my basic white, and then I'll show you how I'm going to line that up, because this is enough that this will overlap it so that you don't see the purple through. So I'm going to bring this up to that edge. So like right there, and then lay it down. So that is my inside, and there's my outside. So I'm going to bring this piece in for our sentiment. Now you could change this and you can make it where you cut 1 1/2 off instead of just 1 1/4. But I wanted this to be a square. So I'm going to ink this up. Come here in the middle and stamp. And there is my sentiment. Although I think I smeared it already, so I'm going to take this one. I'll do it again. There we go. And I want that to dry just a bit. Sorry for all the technical difficulties I've been having with this. All right, so now then I want to add it to that piece that we cut off, that card base. So this is that piece. So I want to try to line that up on that piece. So like that. And then I want to bring this over. Let's see. So maybe about like that. So I'm going to flip it so I know where not to put the dimensionals. Put that there. I can see the live on my screen, and it is way behind, it seems like, on the video. We'll just keep going. All right, so take these backings off. And when I place it down, I want to make certain that these dimensionals are on this side of the line of cardstock. There we go. And then I'm going to try to keep it pretty straight, and I want to make certain it's not overlapping. Nope. I need to come this way just a smidge. So about like that, and it looks pretty straight. So then I want to take my little teapots. This is some retired paper. And the reason why I used retired paper is that you use what you have at your place. And I use what I have at mine. And for mystery stamping, I will use retired product because a lot of people have that in their craft area. And so I like to sometimes use some of the retired stuff so that, you know, it helps you to use some of what you have on hand. You may not have all the new things, and I could use a new paper or different things that is coming out, but you may not have that. So I'm going to put that down there. I think I'll put something right under there. Might cut the piece. Let me take that backing off. I'm going to add it to my scissors so that I can slide it up under there. There we go. Because I want to make it where that bottom is not just kind of hanging out there. Now I'm going to take my little cup and add it here. But I'm just going to glue it down. So I'm using the inside of my dimensionals because the glue won't stick to that. I could get out my silicone mat, but I'm okay with, just using that because it's what I have on hand. Now I'm going to open this up and I'm going to add these to the inside. Pop that down here on the bottom. I'm going to add glue to the back of this. So like that. I'll pop that down here with that. And then that is our card. It's just a simple card. But the way that if you do a fun fold, which it's just a regular fold and then we cut a piece off, but just doing something different than a regular card really gives it a nice little pop. So when you open up, here's the tea kettles here. And then there's also a few more on the inside. Now I didn't do the fresh freesia on here because that's what this background was. And so I put the little bit darker ones. And I think this is Orchid Oasis maybe from some colors that we have retired. But like I said, if you've got it in your craft room, you can use whatever product that you have. And this is just a fun class to where, you know, you don't have to use current things. Now, if I'm doing a different type of like Make It Monday or a technique, I generally use up-to-date products, but I like to bring out some of my older stuff because I don't get to use those as much. So that's when I use it, is whenever we do mystery stamp. So I hope that you like this card. So that's the one I just made. And here's the one, the pattern that I did beforehand. Now I put this one a little higher and I overlap my cup and my tea kettle. And I also put the cups going a different direction because on the paper you have multiples. Let's see. You have like multiples and you have to cut them out. So this one goes one way and that one another, but all the rest of them are cut off. So I just picked from the center of the paper to get the two that I wanted that would go nice. And then this Highland Heather helps to, that's what this is also. And with it on here, that's 3 Highland Heathers. And then I have one, and then the base, this, and inside are the fresh freesia. And then because it was in the second paper, that's why I put that here. So I try to do in 3s if I can. It doesn't always work out that way. But anyway, so that's how mystery stamping works. I give out clues. You cut your paper according to what the clues are. and then we put it together. So I hope that you enjoyed this mystery stamping. And once again, I'm sorry for any technical difficulties, but it happens. So anyway, hopefully this inspired you to create something today. But until next time, happy stamping.